Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the last episode, we were in the archive, I believe Byakuya said it was called, and apparently he has evidence that Chihiro was killed by Genocide Jack. Personally, I don't believe that, but, let's see what he has. The documents gathered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there is no doubt. Do go on. Hold on a second. You're saying you've read all these documents, and more than once? But all this has to be top secret, confidential stuff, right? So, why? My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Huh? Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. Ooh, look at you, so fancy. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So, in other words...
I already told you. There's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. On one hand, I believe him. On the other hand, because of his attitude, I'm like, you're still a bitch, and that's what's important here. And I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim, without a doubt, that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. Oh, Byakuya doesn't scare me, he just pisses me off. And what always interested me the most were the cold case police investigation reports. To be fair, I can kind of agree with that. Not the actual crime scene photos, I said that in the last episode, I'm rather squeamish, but cold cases, they are intriguing. Reading through those reports has always been a hobby of mine, ever since I was little. It's excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. Ah, buddy, I was starting to think you were cool for a minute there, and then you had to go, I've solved things that the police couldn't solve. Oh, shut up. He's such a jerk. And among all those reports, one of my recent favourites is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases has been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood, and the victim's body is suspended. It's exactly the same as what happened to Chihiro. Save your surprise. The best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, where the victims are suspended, the only ones who knew about that particular fact were members of the police and other higher-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victim. I will say, I am kinda into what Byakuya is saying. It's not enamoring Byakuya to me in any way, shape, or form, but what he's saying, this is getting my juices flowing. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So, how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's that's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple.
So in other words,
the culprit isn't a copycat killer. It's the real Genocide Jack. Gah.
in other words,
that right there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Not quite, Byakuya. Without knowing it, you have pointed out your own loophole in your logic. Only the police and Genocide Jack knew about mounting the victims. Not quite, 'cause you knew about that dipshit. So how many other people knew? Buddy, you're not as smart as you like to think you are. Then, Genocide Jack really is. Such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking among us.
Interesting.
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? No, you are still a bitch. I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
No, I'm not gonna beg before you. Toko might be willing to do that. I sure as hell ain't. If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. No, Can we just look at the shelf? I'll find it myself. There's a ton of thick files stuffed onto the bookshelf. All those files there are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Yeah, we heard this. God, do we have to? Byakuya, about that Genocide Jack case file. Could you let me see it?
That's fine.
Thank you. If Makoto had begged, I would have been pissed. Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it with you. Oh. I'ma just grab that, thank you. Byakuya handed me the file and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I had reached the page where photos from the scene of each crime had all been collected. Ooh, hello, I want to read all of this. Okay, so victim Ken Harada, office worker 32. The murder took place in the parking lot of the victim's apartment complex. The victim suffered multiple stab wounds across his body, believed to have been inflicted with the same scissors that were later used to attach the victim to the wall. At the scene of the crime, the word bloodlust was written in the victim's blood. The scissors used in the murder were apparently custom made, with each pair left at the murder scene seeming to be the same, maybe the same, yeah, if you look, they're all the same pair of scissors, so the scissors are custom ordered, okay. As with other cases, at the scene of the crime, the word bloodlust was written in the victim's blood. The scissors used in the murder were apparently custom made, with each pair left at the murder scene seeming to be the same material and construction. Okay, so it's literally just the same on both pages. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing, the victims are male. 2, the victims are suspended with scissors, they're not suspended with rope. Byakuya, I think you've overlooked a couple of very critical things. The names of Genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32. Tetsushiro Honda, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. I'm not all too familiar with Japanese names, but they sound male. Genocide Jack only kills males. If Chihiro is transgender, that could potentially be a thing. However, if Genocide Jack believed Chihiro to be a girl, Chihiro's not Genocide Jack's victim type. So that's strike one for why Genocide Jack could not have done this. 2, Chihiro was struck across the head. They were not stabbed with scissors. 3, Chihiro was suspended with rope, not scissors. This literally, aside from the word bloodlust, there is absolutely no crossover here with Genocide Jack's cases. Byakuya, you are a dumbass. Komatsuna Taro, Takafumi Gono, Uchida Naohisa, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Yomijima. There was no end to it. I'm sorry for my pronunciations there. Again, some of these could be women's names, but they don't... I'm trying to think to my limited anime experiences, and I do not recall any female characters with these names. Admittedly, that isn't exactly a good measuring stick. Literally, the only animes I have seen are Pokemon, which I don't necessarily know if that counts, Cardcaptor Sakura, and Magical Shopping Arcade Benobashi, which is my favourite anime of all time. I loved that. It ran for 1 season. It was funny. Okay, that's beside the point. I get the feeling Genocide Jack's main demographic is men, though, so, ooh, Byakuya. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way, and it wasn't the way that Chihiro was killed and suspended. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page, and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. Profiling results. All of the crimes took place either on weekdays at night or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killing to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely there was any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests... okay, that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder. Why? Why does the mentally ill person have to be a serial killer? I disagree.
So, in other words...
The key point here is that the culprit may well have a split personality. A split personality? Like the kind of thing you see on TV? So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story. But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up till now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know, I feel like my mind has gone numb. Genocide Jack case file has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook.
Let's go.
Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we going? Anywhere but here. We've finished our business here, haven't we? Wait! Byakuya! And he's off. As usual, Byakuya turned and left without another word. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. All of a sudden like that?
I don't have time to play with you.
Come on, enough of your annoying misapprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together this whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own.
Goodbye.
Well, goodbye. And just like that, he was gone, and I felt a sudden pressure, relief from myself, thank God! Just as quickly as he'd asked me to join him, he'd cut me off, and I was so grateful. In the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. That's because you probably were, Makoto. At the same time, I'd uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack. He's the one that killed Chihiro. No, it wasn't. And that murderous fiend is one of us. But who is it? I have to find that out, no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go investigate one more time. I have to go back to the crime scene, the girls' locker room. I should check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I'm at it. I need to find out everything I can. Okay, I am so happy that we don't have to trail after Byakuya anymore. Okay, so based on the evidence we've collected so far, I'm still standing by my thought that Mondo did. Okay, so let me. When they keep saying, oh, Genocide Jack, who is that? They're clearly talking about Toko. They are very obviously talking about Toko. So Toko is Genocide Jack. Toko damn near confirmed that herself when she was saying, oh, I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I won't let them have control. So Toko is a serial killer. That's fantastic. Just top tier. The mentally ill person is crazy and we should be scared of them. I could go on about that for ages. I did that enough in the last episode. I'm gonna try not to go on about that. However, Toko clearly did not kill Chihiro, because even if Chihiro is biologically male, they were presenting as female. Toko / Genocide Jack would have absolutely no reason to target Chihiro. And also, the crime scene, yeah, the word bloodlust was there and Chihiro was suspended, but the scissors were missing. If Chihiro had been a Genocide Jack victim, the scissors would have been there. That's how they would have been suspended. So I'm sticking by the first point. Mondo killed Chihiro because he was like, oh, a penis. Whap. And then Mondo put Chihiro in the girls' locker room to basically... I think it was probably to disguise the fact that Chihiro is biologically male. I think that maybe Mondo felt guilty and was like, I'll help keep your secret even in death, but then I'm gonna slip up with the gendered language. The fact that Mondo was so disgusted by what had happened to Chihiro's body, that tells me that Mondo wasn't the one who strung Chihiro up. That was someone else. Given Toko's reaction, I can see Toko is blaming herself, but I don't think she did it, because what reason would she have? Chihiro isn't part of her modus operandi. She targets guys, so even if she found Chihiro's body, what is the likelihood of Genocide Jack taking over and being like, I'ma string this lady up? That doesn't make sense. So my best guess, because there's been one person who's been insisting, oh, this has to be Genocide Jack, this has to be Genocide Jack, I'ma bring up Genocide Jack every single time. Did you see the word bloodlust? Did you see how they're suspended? Byakuya. Byakuya has to be responsible for the suspension and the bloodlust thing. Right? Don't tell me if I'm right. Please don't tell me if I'm right. But that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that Byakuya discovered the body and decided to alter the crime scene because Lol. I guess. Not because lol, because Byakuya is a bitch. That's why. Okay, let's see how everyone's doing. Hifumi!
Da-da-da-da-da!
Ding ding ding! Hifumi has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit!
I feel as if...
Another stat increase for me! Evidence? What did you find? I cannot reveal that just yet, sir.
That's it! I'm sure of it!
But I guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Oh yeah, Miss Ludenberg said she'd witnessed something worthwhile too. Really? What did she see?
Well, it would seem...
She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies the boy she likes, right? Right? Wrong. Okay, so where is Celeste now? The warehouse by the dorms. She was there, but at the same time, not there. What's it gonna be? Okay, so we have to go speak with Celeste. Is there anything to look at in here? We could look at the doors themselves. Oh no, that just takes us straight in. Whoops. Oh, Chihiro.
Damn.
Chihiro's presence here was especially weak. Her body and her soul.
No forgiveness!
To target such a helpless being, it's unforgivable. What a wretched beast to do such a thing. I cannot forgive this. Speaking of wretched beasts, Mondo, you're at the top of my list, bud. Buddy, literally the first word in your sentence implicates you. Also, I think we've read this. Dude had a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? Oh, I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember. She said that more than once. Sure did, which I guess explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't all that strong. Yeah, we've read this. Yeah, okay. Hey, Kyoko, have you made any progress on your investigation?
Indeed.
Generally speaking.
However...
But I have to get going. I have something unrelated to take care of. Something besides the investigation? What is it?
Well...
Nothing you need to worry about. Just concentrate on the murder. But...
So then...
Before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. You should examine Chihiro's body one more time. Thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to determine its whereabouts. Oh. Mondo got rid of the handbook because it would have come up male. Oh! If what I think is happening, Mondo is really trying hard to cover for Chihiro. Oh, buddy.
Goodbye.
That's it. I'll be praying for your success. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girls' locker room. I guess I'll take another look at the body then. And Chihiro's handbook is missing? That's definitely worth worrying about. Chihiro's e-handbook has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook. Oh, could the broken handbook in the mailbox, could that be Chihiro's? Could Mondo have figured out how to break Chihiro's, and then maybe they took Leon's, because that way it wouldn't look suspicious? Oh, okay. Kyoko said I should examine the body one more time. I know she said thoroughly, but I do have my limits. Well, I'd better give it a shot anyway. Let's see. Chihiro's hands are bound with what looks like some kind of rope. The rope was used to prop her up in a kind of crucifix position. Huh? Byakuya! He used the fucking extension cord! What a bitch. This rope has a plug. Wait, so then this isn't a rope at all. But the more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that concerns me. Chihiro's fatal injury was the blow to the head, which means someone struck her in the head in order to kill her. That's right, there's the issue of her being suspended and the fatal blow. At first, I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. But seeing them again after looking through the Genocide Jack file, something's not quite right. What does this all mean? It means that Toko is innocent. Status of the dead body has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook. Well, the one thing most likely to tie all these mysteries together is the true nature of the rope that was used to suspend Chihiro. And to figure that out, there's a certain place I need to revisit and look over again, the library. Plus, it might help to look at the Genocide Jack case file one more time. Okay, we can absolutely do that. However, Makoto also said he wanted to... This door leads out to the pool. Okay, how do we... Okay, so we need to head back. There's still more I need to check. Okay. I never actually realized that you couldn't leave a crime scene if you hadn't investigated everything. Okay, I was gonna say, I think my next stop after this is gonna be the boys' locker room. Makoto said he wanted to check that. The word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood. Just like in all those other Genocide Jack cases. To be brutally honest, that's the only connection, the fact that bloodlust is written on the wall. Everything else is just too different. At every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. The dumbbell. There's a big blood stain on the dumbbell on the floor. The Monokuma file said that the fatal injury was caused by a blow to the head. This dumbbell has to be the murder weapon. There's a blood stain on the carpet. It could only have been caused by Chihiro's murder. And this? It's the blood-stained poster. The blood is the most noteworthy part, but the big breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. Makoto! Makoto, go to horny jail! A girl's locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you'd find something like this. Oh! To be brutally honest, I thought that Monokuma put this up as like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, encouragement, but being discouraging at the same time. You know what I kind of mean? It's like a backhanded, like, oh, you could look like this lady if you work out hard enough, but you'll never look like this lady because she's hot and you're not. That's kind of what I thought was going on with this. Okay. Okay, now we can leave. Okay, so let's check the boys' locker room. Okay, I've never actually been in here before. Now let's check out the camera. A surveillance camera. Someone's using these cameras to watch people die. As much as it gets on my nerves, I'd better leave it alone. And actually, you know what? Okay. We've only got these. I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next one, we will explore the boys' locker room. I have noticed a rather dodgy looking stain. I'm hoping that's not what I think it is. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below. And if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.